Welcome back. In this lesson, we'll look at text fields and the three different properties of the text fields. So let's begin. First thing we need to do is create ourselves a button. So I'll just create myself a nice little button here. Grab my text tool, call it push me. Change the color to white. There we go. Something easily visible. Okay, and I'm going to convert all of this to a symbol. That's why I highlight all of it. Convert to a symbol. And I'm going to select button. For my drop-down type, I'll call this button. Caps lock are on. That's alright. Okay, now I have to give my button instance name. I'll call this push_btn. Enter. Alright, so what I want to have happen is I want to be able to click on this button and have my text field do something for me. So in order to do that, we need to have a prompt for the user, and then we need to have a text field called a dynamic text box so that the computer can spit out the greeting we want to spit out. So let's begin. A nice simple thing we can ask is, what is your name? What is your name? Question mark. And I'll make this a black so it's visible. A black so it's visible. There we go. Just center that a little bit. Now this guy, if we look up here, the first set of text is always set to the static text. Static means it doesn't move, it doesn't do anything, it's just a graphic that does absolutely nothing. So next we need to have an input box. So again, we're going to take our text tool, I'm going to draw a box. Leave it blank, doesn't really matter. But this time we're going to select from our drop-down text type menu, input. Now we have an input instance name, and we have a whole bunch of other stuff that pops up for accessibility, which we won't need to use right now. I'll call this input box. Okay, enter there. Now when I run my program, the user is going to be able to type into this box. But right now it's invisible. So just to make things a little easier, I'm going to make a little bit of a line, a stroke underneath it, just so that's visible to the user. And our third piece we're going to need is we're going to need a dynamic text box to say a greeting and then the person's name. So I'll type you could leave it blank if you really wanted to, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to change what this box says via code. So let's begin our coding. First thing we need to do is take the, one thing I forgot to do is give this guy an instance name. This guy's called input box, so I'll call this guy, got to change it to a dynamic text box. I almost missed a step there. And I'll call this dynamic box. Okay. All right. Now we're going to code a button event. So I'll start off with push_btn dot add event listener bracket mouse event period click close bracket function name. I'll call this push me. Sure. Now I'm going to define my function by typing function push me, and it's an event with the relationship of a mouse event, OUSE EVENT. You'll notice that the drop down automatically populates what I think I'm going to say. So if I want to, I could just select that, but it wouldn't matter. I'm already finished typing it. mouse event, close bracket. Relationship to that is going to be void because we're not going to be returning anything. I'll open my curly brace and I'll close my curly brace. So first, let's just test out our button. Trace, you got pushed. And semicolon. So now when I zoom out and I run my program, command return, you got pushed. Awesome. So it's working. My output's there. I just didn't animate my button. I also have this other error here, which I'll address in just one moment. So now that I know that my actions are working, I can comment this guy out, and I can type in something else. Let's say I want my dynamic text box to read dynamic box.text, and you always want to add .text after you have a text instance name. Otherwise, the computer won't recognize it as an actual text field. I'm going to make it equal hello there, and then I'm going to add the person's name. And my name is from my input, so it's going to be input box.text semicolon. Okay, so anytime I push my button, this box is going to read hello there and then the person's name. Let's try it out. Command return. I will type in Mr. Arsenault. Push the button. Hey, oh, there, Mr. Arsenault. Okay. Well, we know that it worked partially. But now let's look at this piece of code right here. Font should be embedded for any text that may be edited at runtime. Well, right now this game that's being exported, we call that runtime. So what I will do is, I will select on any one of my text boxes that has the same font I'm using. Right now I'm using Arial. They're all set to Arial. So right here, under character, I'll click on embed. Box will pop up, and instead of taking the uppercase, lowercase, numerals, or punctuation, I'm going to select all of them. When I click OK, now my font is considered to be embedded. Let's see, was there anything else I want to add? Not just yet. Okay, so press command return. And the reason why we embed it is not just to get rid of that pesky error that comes out in the output, but so that we get capitals, we get punctuation, we get symbols, because sometimes you don't actually get certain letters like Y, X, C. Earlier we didn't get the L's from hello, I remember that. And I'll hit push me, hello there Mr. A, YXC. And if my text box was longer, I'd have LLL. So there we go. Now because, oh, it's thinking. Because the whatever you want text is being overridden, you as the computer programmer know that something is going to change it. But to make things a little cleaner, I'll just erase this. Now the box is still there, but when I type into it, you can't see it. What is your name? Mr. Awesome. Yeah. Push my button. Oh, my name's not long enough. I could always shrink my font, but there we have it. And whatever your font characteristics are in here, the same will appear in here. Now just for the sake of the camera, I will zoom in so that you can see the full text, and you can pause if need be and access your code there. Okay, well I think we'll call that a day, and I will see you guys next time.